Hey guys, welcome to my channel again. So today's story time. You guys are probably gonna know the title before me because I don't really know what to title these videos. This story begins because my dad really wanted to go to the ocean. He had never been to the ocean, and this was in Mexico, I should say. Okay, he went to Ixtapa, Guanajuato. My dad books the place and we go on our way. I believe we went on a bus. We like pull up. After we get dropped off by the bus, we get picked up by like a van taxi thing, and he's like pulling up to this nice like hotel, and it's like a curved U, right, for you to like enter in and like exit out easily and everything. And there's all these people coming in with their families, taking their luggage out of their back seat. We come in and like we look around, and it's like a big, nice, luxurious hotel. Okay, so I got excited. I was like, oh, okay. I did not trust you, Dad, but I take that back because it was so nice, you guys. It was super nice. The lobby looked so luxurious, and we get there around, I say what check-in times are usually like in the evening, so like 3-4 p.m. I don't think we really got to do much because I remember we were really tired. Like the drive there was like maybe like 4 hours, and like the whole planning, like packing and unpacking when we got there. The next morning, right, I was super excited to get our day going because we were finally gonna get to enjoy the beach. There was a pool in the back, and there was like another little pool like following that one, and it was so nice because there was even like a little like net so you can like play volleyball and stuff, and they had like all sorts of different activities where there was like classes, and people could actually bring in their little floaties, which I hadn't really seen in other places that it was allowed, because some hotels have restrictions and they don't want to have like random objects in the pool. Yes, we can have our little bread and milk, but honestly, like, we want to go out and have a nice breakfast to get our day going. We're gonna be out in the sun. We want to have something full of nutrients, okay? So my dad was like, okay, let's go get some breakfast. We're gonna go walk out and we're gonna go around. Let me explain it to you guys, okay? So when you leave the hotel, you go across the street, and like there's a bunch of like strips. It's like a big mall, outdoor mall, right? Not with like real actual stores, but more like vendors, okay? Like people selling their own things, you know? And there's also like a lot of restaurants and like tour activities and stuff like that that you could sign yourself up for. We could just easily find a place, pick one, and eat there. We were like walking out of our hotel room, and we had to walk like a little far to actually exit and then be on the main road. So we were like on the main road waiting to cross the street, but it's like, this is like, you know, super busy because this is a touristy area, so it was already like packed. You know, people are trying to get to the beach, people are trying to get to their hotels and go out and have breakfast, you know, the whole thing. We're waiting there for a while, and it's really hot, okay? It's so hot. If you go underneath the shade of a tree, that's not gonna help you. Good luck, Charlie, because you are gonna feel hot as a witch's coochie. You're not even gonna think you're underneath the shadow. It's not gonna help. But we're over here dying because we're trying to cross the street and we're trying to eat. Like, we haven't eaten anything good. Little 17-year-old me, I was more excited about getting into that pool, so I just wanted everybody to eat their food fast and us to head on out to the pool, to the beach, and get all the activities done. Because one thing about me is I was never getting out that pool. I could stay in there forever. We're waiting, we're in the street, and like we're just waiting for all these cars to pass, and all of a sudden this van, it didn't give creepy vibes, it just looked like one of those like touristy vans. I'm gonna put up a picture here. So one of those vans like kind of pulls up, and I'm like, I'm looking at everybody like, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Like, is everything okay? And, you know, my dad's like, it's okay, you know, and he's like kind of like wary, you know, trying to see what's going on too, because this van literally is just pulling up on us, you know. And it's like, it's 4 of us, okay? It's my mom, my dad, yeah, my mom, my dad, my sister, and me, all right? And we're like, dude, what the heck? My mom's obviously, I'm sure she was like a little like precautious, but she also didn't want to make us feel worried, you know, like that was her burden to carry in a way, you know. Mama bears be like that. A lady comes out of her van, right? she's on the passenger side. She gets out and she's like, hola, hi, like, how are you, you know, being super friendly. And my dad's such a friendly guy, okay? Like, if you talk to him, if you ask him to buy you a candy so for your fundraiser, he will do it, especially if you're giving candy, because he wants candy. All right, it's more so for him getting his candy than helping people out, but regardless, he will do that. That is just him, right? And I guess he got the good vibes from this lady. She was like in her maybe like late 40s or so, and she's like, hi, how are you? You guys are visiting here in Ixtapa. How has your vacations been going? You guys are staying in this hotel? And my dad was like, oh yeah, you know, we're just here for a few days visiting, you know, we're from here. You're trying to make it seem like we're actually from here, you know. My dad is, but we don't live there no more, of course. We live in the US. So he's like chit-chatting her up, and I'm like, no. Me and my sister were like, no. Like, we weren't that obvious about it, but we were like, bruh, we just want to go have breakfast, and now this man's chit-chatting it up with this lady. We're never gonna eat. We were already crabby too. We were getting like toasted because it was so hot, so we were annoyed. Like, my sister and I do not handle heat well, especially her. She's not an outdoorsy person at all, so she was not having it, right? But we're just standing there and we're like, Ma, come on, like, Ma, yeah, like, when are we gonna go? Come on, you know. We're trying to be subtle and everything. She's also kind of annoyed, right? But she's trying to let my dad handle it, right? To see what this lady wants. And then she's like, have you guys ever heard of like this she names a resort, okay? And we're like, no, like, never heard of it. And she was like, oh, okay, well, you guys are looking for a place to eat, right? Because my dad had told her, like, we're not really interested in anything. Like, we just want to go have breakfast. We were gonna go over here and look for a place to eat because these girls are hungry, you know. So we're gonna see what's good out here. If you have any recommendations, let us know. And she was like, oh, well, actually, we have free breakfast at our resort if you would like to come. We can just give you guys some free breakfast. It's really good, trust me, it's really good. And my dad was like, what the heck? She was like, no, like, I don't know, like, it's okay, like, I'm not really interested. I don't know what you want in exchange for that. Like, we're not, I feel like that's too good to be true. And she was like, oh, no, trust me, don't worry. And my dad was like, like, he kind of looked at my mom and like looked back at the lady, and he was like, what's the catch? And she was like, oh, there's no catch, trust me, like, we just really want to give you guys like a free breakfast, you know. I could tell that your daughters are very hungry and they would like to eat, but trust us, like, it's no commitments at all. Like, you just come and have breakfast and we can give you a tour of our place and see maybe if you want to check it out. And you know, she was very convincing with my dad. I think she made it clear, like, trust me, like, you don't have to pay anything, there are no extra fees, like, we simply want to give you guys free breakfast and give you a tour of our place. And my dad was like, are you sure? Because I don't want to find out later on. I get there, I have the food, and then I have to pay something, okay? Like, we were just gonna go across the street and get something to eat, okay? So if you say it is that way, then let's go. And me and my sister and my mom were like kind of like looking at each other. My mom's like, throughout the whole thing, she was kind of like not really agreeing with wanting to go to this place, you know. But he kind of got us into it without our say, you know. We had no say in this. He was kind of taking the lead. And like, we start getting in the van, and like, none of us are feeling the vibes. My dad is, okay? My dad sits over there and he's fine. I think he sits in the front, if anything, honestly, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like telling my sister, dude, are you serious? Like, did we really just get in the van? Like, this is kind of creepy. Like, who gets in a random van? I should say that this lady had like a nice little uniform, okay? So she did look like a worker, and the guy in the van also was in that matching uniform and everything. But you know, we were hot, so as soon as we got in the van, we were like, oh, like, it's so like refreshing. But still, like, we were still worried, you know. Like, we only felt like 50% refreshed because we were still sweating on the inside. Like, what did we get ourselves into, you know? And we're like driving around, and I'm like paying attention out the window, like I'm remembering the way from the hotel to wherever this person is taking us, okay? Wherever this man is taking us now. Because now it's 2 of them. Well, it was 2 of them, right? But the lady came out and did the talking. And I'm like, no, like, this is the end. I didn't get to enjoy my life. They're gonna kidnap us. We're going to the cartel. And that's it. Because my dad wanted some free breakfast. Driving, and my dad's having these conversations with this lady, and I think it's just all about, like, you know, what people be talking about, their homeland and how they grew up and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it was just that type of conversation, because I don't recall. I was too busy worrying about if I was gonna live or die, okay? If my dad had just gotten into this situation where we were getting kidnapped, I was like, this breakfast better be good, because we could have just gone across the street and gotten whatever breakfast we wanted. But this lady was like telling us, like, it's a whole buffet, you get to choose an arrangement of everything, there's fruits, there's pancakes, there's everything, trust me. So I was really hungry, and I was like, okay, you know what, let me just relax. So we start pulling up, and it's kind of like on a hill. This place is like on a hill, and there's like some really nice like bricks of floor, if that makes sense, like a brick driveway, and it's giving like kind of private in a way, like private, but also like as if it were apartment complexes, but like nice apartment complexes. I don't even know if I'm explaining that right. But from the back it definitely looked like that. It looked like it was like a parking lot, but there was like entrances to like these places, but you could tell that this was the back of the apartment complexes or whatever. But it was like a resort apartment thing. We pull up, right, and he like drops us off like in the main entrance, and we go into the main entrance. So my dad just kind of told the lady to, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, we're kind of here, we were promised like a free breakfast, and like that they were gonna show us around. I don't really know, like, hopefully that it is just free breakfast. And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, give me a second. So then they take us to where the breakfast is, and we're like entering, and it looks really nice. The view that I'm seeing when I'm entering is like really nice, okay? I could kind of start to see the ocean from far away, but there's like these trees, and we were like, because we were so high up, you know, and like where we were staying at, it was just a hotel, like floor level hotel type of thing, if that makes sense. The hotel obviously was like high, but it wasn't like so nice. We just got like the beach and like our pool and everything else, you know. But this was like nature, and it was so pretty. I'm looking and I'm like, oh wow, this is nice, okay. And I gotta feed into them, okay. I gotta let them know, like, okay, like, I'm kind of grateful that y'all are giving us some free breakfast. I don't really care that much about this place like that, okay? I'm just trying to be nice to get me some free breakfast since y'all kidnapped us and brought us here, okay? We're entering, but I'm like, what? Where are all the people? Like, are you sure that breakfast is still going on? Because there's like nobody. It was completely empty, you guys. Like, the only people that were there was like 1 or 2 workers that were working the kitchen area, and like we could literally pick any table we wanted to eat at because there was nobody. Already like even cleaning up the stations, and we were about to be left with no food. But for whatever reason, you know, they sat us down and they told us, you know, like, grab your plates, and like you guys can serve yourselves whatever you want. There was like a little buffet when you enter. I don't remember exactly the station, but it couldn't have been anything so memorable, because if there was like a chocolate fountain, trust me, I would have remembered something like that, all right? It wouldn't have forgotten me either. So I remember there was just like a station of fruits. Honestly, that's what I remember, and I remember that that's kind of all I ate, like fruits and maybe like an omelet. And the reason I say that that's all I ate, I'm a foodie. I love food, but since this place was already like about to, it was supposed to be closed already because there was nobody there. There was only so many options that we had. Like, there wasn't like that fresh stuff, you know, like we couldn't get the good stuff. There was no good stuff. All I remember there really being was fruit and an omelet station, which is supposed to be like bougie, but who the heck doesn't eat eggs on the regular? We're Mexican, we eat eggs on the regular, so it's not that bougie. I'm sorry, not sorry. We finally get to take a seat and we finally kind of like start eating, and then a guy comes and he sits in front of us, and I'm like, what? My dad's also kind of like, whoa, like why is this guy here like sitting with us eating, you know? We all kind of get like uncomfortable, you know, because we're not the type of people that talk too much when we're eating. It's kind of silent when we eat, you know, because we like to enjoy our food, and we weren't able to do that. And my dad's like the most like uncomfortable person. Not that he makes you uncomfortable, but he feels uncomfortable, all right? Like he gets uncomfortable pretty quickly, all right? So I could tell that his vibes were off already too. So the guy starts talking to him and like asking him these questions like, oh, where are you guys from? So you guys came today to get a tour of this place, right? You guys want to see this place, check it out, are you excited? And we're like, no, like we were promised free breakfast. We were pretty honest. I mean, it's the truth. We were not interested in no place. My dad had just gotten us the cheapest room, and we were trying to get some free food. Y'all kidnapped us, okay? So no, like not really, but we're here for the food. So the guy kind of laughed. He was like, oh, haha, you know. And he starts asking all like these questions. The thing is that he would like try and like include us into things to like convince our parents about stuff, and like it just wasn't working because we were like, we wanted to go to the pool and enjoy our day, but we couldn't because we had just traveled like 10-15 minutes to this place, and then we had to eat some ugly food, and then we get interrupted by this guy, so we can't even enjoy our food. And like he wants to talk to us when that's not our thing. Like we don't talk while we eat. We like to enjoy our silence, and like we want to be enjoying the view and stuff. And that's what I'm doing. I'm like eating and I'm like looking out and like enjoying the view, but I'm mean mugging this guy. I'm like, cause why are you here? Okay, like he was messing with my pool time and my beach time, my tanning time. I didn't tan, but my pool time, all right? He was messing with that. Hey, y'all mess with my food. I could have had some good steak, some good pancakes, and y'all got me this. Nonetheless, he's chit-chatting it up, but my dad got us in this mess. My dad got to deal with it, so he's doing all the talking and stuff with him. They're talking, I'm in my own world. I'm thinking about what things I'm gonna be doing later on, what I'm gonna be playing, because I still had yet to step in the beach. And it was already like about to be 12, I think, obviously, because they were already closing the buffet. Yeah, like while we're eating, like they kind of start cleaning up more and like putting everything away, and you know, we kind of just finish because we kind of feel uncomfortable that we were the last ones. You know, the kitchen people like had to wait on us to finish and like clean up, you know, even though that like we were making them go behind on their schedule and stuff. After that, he's like, so are you guys ready to come tour the place? And we were like, I mean, we have to, no? Like, I mean, we honestly just came for the free breakfast. So he starts like taking us down this path, and like he took us to these rooms, and the rooms were pretty small, but in the back there was a nice like tub, like the ones that you see in Greece. It was kind of giving that type of vibe. It was like outdoorsy, but it felt private, but it was really small. And like I was like, why are we like being shown this? Like I could tell that my dad was kind of off put by it, because they were talking about these members get this room, and if you get this other membership you have access to this and this, and it was a lot. Okay, I don't recall everything. Nonetheless, like my dad's pretty clear every time that he's mentioning these things. He's like, yeah, honestly, like I'm not really interested in like getting a membership. Like that's really not our thing. It was like as if that was his task to like show us the tour, and then, you know, there was supposed to be a deal. Okay, but let's continue on with the tour, right? So the rooms were the least interesting part. So then he's like, okay, well now I'm gonna take you to this area where this is really nice, you know, and this is where the nice part comes. Okay, so we go on like this zip line thing, but it's like a safe one. It's like you're kind of in like a little thingy McJiggy, and you go down and you see like the crocodile pond and the nature, and then you see the beach. Like it was like very private, and like it looked super nice, and like that thought, when I saw that, I was like, actually this is pretty cool. Like the hotel doesn't have this. Honestly, I really like this. And that's when I was like, Dad, like this is really cool. That was it, honestly, if I'm being honest. So then he's like chit-chatting up with my dad, and he's like talking, and he's like leading us to this place. And when we enter, all you see is like a big area where there's like a bunch of desks, a bunch of people. You hear all these people talking as you get closer to it. You just hear as if this was like that movie where like you're making all these like business calls, and people are on the phone like trying to make a business deal, and like everybody else is too. My battery's about to die, hold on y'all. There's these workers that are all like talking to a client. They all have their client. They're all either on the phone or talking to someone in front of them, like in those two chairs that they put in front of the desk. And there's a bunch of desks. Like I can't remember how many desks there were, but there was plenty of desks. Okay, so they sit us down on one of these desks, and like my parents sit up front, and like we're kind of like in between, or like a little bit behind, you know, so that they can like be talking to my parents, and like we're just kind of on the sidelines, you know. That same person that had been talking to us, he had a sheet of paper that he had the whole time, and like he was like, you know, writing down my dad's information. And he had done this while we were having breakfast, you know. He was like asking my dad his name, his last name, you know, like our address, where we live, his email, his phone number, all that kind of stuff. Okay, and here's when he starts like asking us like, how often like do you guys vacation? And we tell him, honestly, like we really don't. Like this is my dad's first time, well, this is his first time vacationing here in like meeting the ocean. That's why we came, because it's like such a rare occasion. We don't really vacation like that, you know, which isn't like a lie, because we really like to spend our time with our family. When we vacation, our vacation is going to our homeland and spending it with our family. So that's what my mom says, you know. She explains to him, like, honestly, good luck trying to convince him, because like there's just no way. Like we don't, this isn't something for us, you know, because, you know, we can already interpret that he's insinuating that like we should somehow, some way buy this place, book this place, but we're already booked for the other hotel. Okay, so to us it was kind of like we don't plan ahead. And he was asking us this, like, how long before do you guys plan ahead for your vacations? Because maybe you could start planning a vacation now for like maybe like 6 months from now, a year from now, and we can book you guys here and like assure that you get a spot here, you know, like, and you only have to pay like a certain membership. Like trust me, like you get these certain amenities, you get this certain room if you pay this amount, and like you can come and book maybe like around the springtime, you know. It's not so bad like in the summer where there's a lot more vacationers and stuff like that, but you do have to make sure that you book in advance, because everything kind of gets booked up, you know. But if you want, you can pay even more, and you can get even more amenities, and you can even like get a bigger room, get so many things that are just out of our realm, out of like what we even want, you know. Like we're very humble. We like to have just a relaxing day, okay? We don't need that much, alright? my dad just tells him multiple times, like, sir, like, we appreciate that you brought us out here and you guys gave us free lunch, but since the beginning I made it clear that we were not interested. We already have our hotel that, you know, we really like, and we want to go spend our day there, but you guys kind of dragged us along, so we're kind of stuck here. Like I said, we're appreciative, but this isn't something that we're interested in. Like, we don't vacation. Like, this isn't something for us, and I hope that you can understand that. I don't know, like, how clear I can make it to you guys, because, like, I just can't agree to this. This isn't for us. And he kept trying to say things and tried to convince my dad, and it was always like also trying to include me and my sister, and we were trying to be nice sometimes, but also we were being honest. Like, honestly, no, like, we don't come here often. Like, we even were laughing. We were like, yeah, our dad's not gonna fold, all right, because you know your parents sometimes be codos, and like, he had every right to be, because realistically we have not gone back there since, all right. This guy was actually nice, and he was like just trying to make a deal, trying to do his job, okay, because this ultimately is his job. And when he finally realized that, you know, he couldn't, he was like, okay, yeah, okay, just give me a second, okay. And he's like, I'll be back, and he like leaves, and like my mom's just talking to him, and you know, like, my mom's so honest. She's like, honestly, like, this isn't even all that nice. Like, the food here wasn't even good. Like, we didn't get to eat what we wanted. We could have eaten something better over there. And like, we were all ready to go. We were all telling my dad, my mom, like, oh, like, dude, like, we really want to go now. Like, we wanted to enjoy the sun. Like, yeah, the food isn't good. Like, can you just tell him that we can leave? If we can leave now, can we just like leave, take a taxi, and just go? My mom was like, yeah, I know, like, your dad's gonna tell him, okay, I don't know, like, we're just gonna see how we can get out of this, because it just wasn't looking good, guys. Like, we were there for a long time, and they wouldn't take no for an answer, and it was kind of scary. I wasn't as scared until like this part, okay. So this guy, he's like, oh, okay, like, can you guys just come with me? And we were like, okay, like, we're probably gonna finally be able to leave, you know. So he gets us up and stuff, and we like walk around. He leads us like around to like this upper level. It was still that office level, but there was kind of like a stair, and like there was still like a desk there, right? And he takes us there, and you know, this guy, like, he gets up. He's like this really tall, tan, like muscular, like big, masculine looking guy. Like, he had very masculine features, very like a villain of a telenovela type of vibe. Like, he was giving cartel, he was giving handsome Squidward mixed with like that very am I even saying that right? That oddly fairy, what the hell? Okay, I'll just insert all these pictures because I have a lot of like characters that come into mind when I think of him, but he scared me, okay? He was intimidating. He was super intimidating, because he just seemed like a bad guy, okay? That's the kind of vibes he gave. He's about his business. He shakes out my dad's hand. He's like,
hi, how are you? So what's going on?
He like that was his vibe already. Like, it was like he was about to get this done, okay? It wasn't like that other guy that we had just been dealing with. This guy was like,
why don't you want to get our membership?
And my dad was like we were explaining to this guy, my dad's a really respectful guy, okay? Like, he will never lose his temper like that. He's very laid back, all right, and super respectful. He was raised well. So he's like we were telling the other guy and everyone else that we had previously talked to, we were brought in here for free breakfast, you know. We really didn't want to commit to anything. Like, again, repeated the same thing that we had kept explaining to this guy, you know, it's just not for us. And he's like,
okay.
He pulls out a paper, a pen, and he's I'm gonna use this fork. Why do I have a fork? I don't know. This is my room. But he's like,
okay, I'm gonna do this, okay? How about this? How does this sound for you?
and he writes down like a price. I don't even know. It was pesos, you guys, so I really don't remember anything like specifically. But he tries to like make it seem like it's super good deal. He's like,
you're gonna get this, okay? Forget about that. Whatever that guy told you, okay? You're gonna be able to have this because I'm the boss here. Like, trust me, this is what you're gonna get, alright?
it's kind of like the final boss of business here, okay? It was very much giving that, but I felt like he had like a gun in here. He didn't, I don't think he did, right? But I felt like he had a gun in here and like he was ready to kill us if we were not making this deal. That's the kind of vibe I got, okay? I had been like giving this guy attitude and like telling him, no, I'm not interested, you know? But with this guy I was scared, so I kept my mouth shut and I kept my attitude hidden. All right, I was like, y'all got this. Y'all take care of this. So he's writing on this and my dad's like, thank you, you know, thank you for giving us this offer, but I'm sure there's gonna be somebody out there that will really value this offer, but for us this just isn't something that we're interested in. Honestly, it's throwing away our money and we're not gonna come back here. We're not. And he gets mad, you guys. He's like,
okay, so then why'd you guys come here?
straight up like that. He didn't care about no professionalism. He was a villain, I'm telling you guys. He was not a good person. I could assure you about that. We just kind of like all kind of, you know, like looked down and kind of like looked at each other because we don't want no problems, you know. We already feel like we're in a sticky situation, and we tell him like, you know, like, I'm sorry, like, we're not trying to waste your time. If anything, it's the complete opposite. We want to go. Like, you know, our parents always throwing us under the bus. He was like, our daughters honestly just came here to like have fun. We want to leave already. We're tired of telling you guys no at this point, and we would appreciate if you guys could respect that, you know, because this isn't gonna work out. Like, we're not interested. Again, for the 100 millionth time. He was annoyed, okay, because he saw they were having the most trouble with us. And while we were there, guys, I forgot to mention, while we were there and sitting and with the other guy trying to make this, well, he was trying to make the deal with us, you just hear like a bell ring, like ding 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 ding, and then everybody, it's like if you were in Panda Express and you just donated some money and everybody starts clapping. They had like this whole thing, they had this whole shebang, okay, and they made it feel like it was like a part of everybody, you know, like you were all, it felt culty, if that's the way I can describe it. It felt very culty. All right, finally this guy was like,
okay, all right.
And he called somebody up and he's like,
can you take them out? All right, these people don't want to make a deal here. They just kind of like wasted our time, so if you could just walk them out.
And my dad was like, thank you again for your time, you know, like, we appreciate the free breakfast. Again, keeping it so respectful and appreciative. The van pulled up and, you know, we got in it and stuff, but I was more scared this time. I was like, dude, like, we just pissed off the final boss of this resort. In reality, there's so many people that book this place, that are paying for this membership and that are booking it, that you're just never gonna have the opportunity to actually use what you're paying for. But anyways, I was more scared leaving than I was like actually coming into the resort, because we had pissed off the final boss. And I was like, dude, what if he like told the people that were taking us back to like drop us in a ditch or something, you know? I honestly thought like they weren't even gonna be nice enough to like give us a free ride back, and they were gonna make us walk it, okay? Like, I think we were all prepared for that. And no, they actually did end up, you know, taking us back, and it was kind of awkward because we weren't interested in stuff. We were kind of in a crabby mood after that, me and my sister especially, because that took away from our time, like our vacation time, and we were kind of annoyed with our dad, even though like He just wanted free breakfast. At the end of the day, you know, we did get to enjoy our pool time. We survived, nothing happened to us, and hopefully now you guys know if you guys ever go to any of these beaches. Ixtapa, I'm sure they're not the only place that has these type of resorts. They try and offer you free food, maybe like a free tour or like something. That sounds too good to be true, and it is, because they're gonna peer pressure you into paying an expensive amount of money on something that you're not gonna actually use. It all sounds nice and you're there in the moment. You think, yeah, you know what, it would be nice if one day we come here again, like we vacation often, and if you don't really do that, it's just not worth it. And don't fall for that kind of stuff, okay? Because that's what's gonna happen. Learn from us, you guys. Enjoy your pool days on vacation, and bye. Thanks for watching.